Hello, my name is Robin Anderson, and I am the Assistant Dean at Midwestern Community College, where I am responsible for the oversight of Education 100, Introduction to Education, and Education 110, Methods of Instruction. Today, I'll be sharing the findings from the student evaluations that were conducted following Education 100 and 110. We will also discuss some implications that are likely to occur in conjunction with these findings, discuss some suggestions, all while looking to maintain stakeholder buy-in and support. Demographic information gathered during the evaluation includes data on the participants' gender, age, and time and position in the field, which ranged from no experience through 4 years in the educational setting. There were also pre-screening tools that were utilized in the evaluation, including assessments on writing, math, and overall verbal skills. The sample size for each learning program is listed on the slide. Now please note that sample size refers to the number of people who successfully completed the program within the past calendar year. You'll also note the dropout and failure rates on the slide as well. For Education 100, we had a sample size of 256 students with a dropout rate of 15%. For Education 110, there was a sample size of 165 students with a dropout rate of 18%. The validity of the evaluation was upheld through the extensive and various data collection techniques used in this evaluation, as well as ensuring that the collected data aligned with the overall course objectives. The evaluation can be proven as reliable based on the consistent application and usage of the evaluation techniques, as well as the criteria considered during the planning and execution phase. Lastly, when it comes to rigor, that is proven just in the evaluation and assessment strategies implemented to ensure that we maintain and uphold the high academic standards and our integrity. Let's look at some of the findings from the evaluation of Education 100, Introduction to Education. As stated earlier, the sample size for Education 100 consisted of 256 students with a failure or dropout rate of 15%, amounting to approximately 38 students. Demographics for Education 100, we saw a large number of females versus males, with the greater population of students aged between 25 and 30 years old. The most impressive demographic pertains to the work experience. 142 students had less than 1 year of experience in the field of education. The pre-screening strategy yielded average results. However, the student performance per unit is worthy of concern, with the biggest area of opportunity identified in Unit 2 of the program. The average test score for Unit 2 was 43%, while the other units saw much more impressive results as indicated on the slide. The students were offered the opportunity to rate various aspects of the class on a Likert scale, responding to 10 questions regarding their confidence of career success, the instructor's presentation, feedback and responsiveness, and the application of the material. Based on the evaluation, students rated the knowledge of the instructor as it relates to the subject matter at 4.7 out of 5, while the time to master the material and ability to apply the concepts to real life were rated at a much lower level at 2.6 and 2.5 respectively. Some of the more common themes within the feedback include the course feeling rushed with too much content, too much time required for course completion. Another common theme noted within the feedback included trouble maneuvering through the systems and various parts of the virtual classroom. Now, let's spend some time reviewing the findings from the evaluation of Education 110, Methods of Instruction. The sample size for Education 110 consisted of 165 students with a failure or dropout rate of 18%, amounting to approximately 30 students. The demographics for Education 110, we saw a larger number of females versus males, and the greater population of the students were aged 31 to 40 years old. Like Education 100, the number of students with less than 1 year of experience in the field made up the larger population of class. While the pre-screening instruments did yield average amounts, Like Education 100, a noteworthy area of opportunity is identified in Unit 2 of the program with an average test score of 56%, while the other units saw more impressive results, as you can see on the slide. Students in Education 110 were offered the same evaluation opportunities as those in Education 100 with the same questions and similar formatting. Based on the evaluation, students rated the knowledge of the instructor as it relates to the subject matter and the sequencing of the units at a 4.8 out of 5, while the time to master the material and ability to apply those concepts to real life were rated at a much lower level at 2.2 for both. Some of the more common themes identified within the feedback include concerns regarding the instructor making assumptions about previous knowledge and coming across as demeaning. Another theme worthy of note is the lack of opportunity for hands-on application. Education 100 and 110 both experienced a significant dropout or failure rate, which brings us to the question of why. Could it be the overall design of the course, the timing, the workload, or even the amount of instructor knowledge and ability to support? Either way, it is time to reevaluate the design of our program. I'll talk more to that when we get to the recommendations, but let's continue. The unit assessment results, evaluation, and open-ended questions all allude to trouble spots within the course navigation or the learning program itself. Delays or issues with navigating through the content and learning material can significantly impact the learning outcomes for the students. The struggles with the Unit 2 assessment in both classes indicate an absolute need to revisit the content, activities within the unit, and the assessment. Evaluation responses and open-ended comments for both Education 100 and 110 indicate the need and desire for practical application of the learning material in the real-world setting. Although the evaluation scores for the instructor in both courses were rather high, the open-ended feedback indicates something different. Various comments regarding unfair grading, insufficient support, demeaning behavior will have a detrimental impact on the student learning outcomes. These are just some of the primary issues that were identified. Implications of the evaluation include the dropout rate. The dropout rate for both Education 100 and 110 are absolutely concerning. This suggests a need for review and revision, be it in the structure of the course, the design of the content, and/or instructor support. The lack of opportunity to apply what the student has learned, along with the desire to do so, are evident in the evaluation results and open-ended feedback. Taking the time to revisit the course design to include opportunity for real-life hands-on experiences or even simulation activities in the virtual setting could help meet this need. In the open-ended comments for both classes, there was a mention of struggles with course navigation. Would it be helpful to consider other learning platforms, or maybe even a brief introductory program on course navigation? The assessment scores in Unit 2 in both 100 and 110 absolutely show the need for revision. Whether the information in the unit is vague, too complex, or the activities aligned are not effective, these scores indicate that something is wrong. Lastly, although the evaluation scores were on the higher end, a 4.2 and a 4.9 for instructor effectiveness, the open-ended comments indicate otherwise. Could this be part of the reason for the dropout or failure rates? These findings indicate the need for enhanced professional development opportunities and more consistent facilitation practices. One of the initial pieces of feedback about Education 100 was that it felt rushed, consisted of too much content, and took up a lot of the students' time. Taking those factors into consideration, I would recommend splitting the course into 2 separate segments. This would allow students more time to work through the content and would also allow for the enhancement of the programming, adding in the opportunity for that real-world application. Taking into consideration the student feedback as well as the unit assessment results, it's time to revisit the course content, design, and programming. I would recommend a thorough revision of the learning material, ensuring that the instructions and associated coursework are explained in a clear and concise manner. I would also recommend revamping the overall e-learning program and its functions to ensure an easy and smooth student interaction. Although the evaluation scores for the instructor were on the higher end, the comments within the open-ended feedback are concerning and have to be acknowledged. I would recommend structuring regular formative evaluations using a standard observation form to document and observe instructor performance, followed by self-evaluations and open feedback sessions with the instructor. I would also advise seeking out and scheduling several professional development opportunities to make available to the instructors, allowing them the chance to continue to grow, develop, and enhance their skills. Lastly, the want for hands-on learning comes through loud and clear from our students through the evaluation forms and those open-ended questions. It would be very beneficial to restructure our program content, allowing for real-world experiences, experiential learning events, case studies, or even simulations to enhance the learning opportunity for our customer. As we look to get this program rolling within the next 3 months, it is crucial to the integrity of the evaluation to communicate this information to all remaining stakeholders, ensuring that we solicit, review, and consider their feedback and insight. With the agreement or support from the stakeholders, we can begin to move forward with the recommended enhancements. The next phase of the implementation would involve a trial period of the enhanced programming while continuing to monitor, evaluate, and review the incoming feedback, making necessary adjustments and improvements to the program as needed. Finally, the last phase of implementation involves that full scope launch of the program, communicating the official launch, reasons behind the change, and the plans that are in place to continue to monitor and evaluate. It is crucial that during each phase of the implementation, regular meetings are held with the various stakeholders, ensuring that they are being kept in the loop with any changes or information vital to them. As we wrap this up, as seen in the evaluation results and findings, it has come time to review and enhance two of our educational programs here at MCC, Education 100, Intro to Education, and Education 110, Methods of Instruction. The feedback from our primary customers, our students, call for a program that is easier to understand and navigate with a restructure of timing and continual development for our instructors. A reasonable and achievable timeline has been presented, and with your support and agreement, we can revamp this program to be one of the more desired and attractive programs for our students. Thank you for your time, and I look forward to hearing your thoughts. Have a fantastic day.